Friends, hello. It's humid and hot, and everything is out of focus. That's the kind of Monday we're having, isn't it? Oh boy. So, had a rather eventful weekend in terms of, hanging out with people and getting stuff done and, was busy. And that was that would explain the lack of proper chats here lately. But boy, do I have some strong feelings today. So here we go. And I've talked about this before, but I feel like the more times I say it, the more chances there are for me to better articulate why this matters so much to me. So, the idea that a church is not a good church because it is welcoming of people who do not fit in the conservative model of Christianity is both toxic and outright disgusting, wrong. Full stop. Like, no, really, stop. And the last time I talked about this, it was for similar reasons that I'm talking about it now. There's this stupid Facebook meme that goes around that talks about how a liberal church will welcome you and not tell you to change who you are. Or something along those lines. And then there's a legalistic church will not welcome you until you change. A Christian church will welcome you, and the gist of it is help you to see the things that you need to change in yourself and blah blah blah. Look, I get it. I get the idea. Here's the other thing, though. The most justice, compassion-minded people I know do not just affiliate with the Republican Party. They are not just conservative people. A lot of them are very liberal. And I'm talking about Christian circles, specifically. So to equate liberal churches with not calling people out on sinful behavior is not only wrong, it's leaving out important pieces of the puzzle. Because when conservative Christians make statements like that, they are specifically thinking of lifestyles that they don't agree with, specifically anyone who is not straight and cisgender. They're also thinking of people who have any type of sexual activity that is not within the confines of a man and a woman in a legal marriage. So this is not me giving my views on those things necessarily, although you can fill in the blanks based on what I'm saying, obviously. What I'm saying here is that, first of all, not all people in liberal churches are affirming of all of those things. There are homophobic, transphobic, not sex-positive liberal people. Trust me, I've met them. They claim to be accepting, and then they turn around and they expose their bigotry. I would even go as far to say as they are more blatant about it because they think what they're doing is better than what conservative Christians are doing, even though it's the same. So in that respect, I think being no better is the theme here, because hypocrisy and bigotry comes in all forms across the board. It just sometimes hides behind the mask of kindness and acceptance of certain people. And that is the conservative model, that is the liberal model, that is everything in between. And so when conservative Christians talk about liberal churches that way, they are actually embodying the legalistic church model that they are claiming in this meme that goes around Facebook to be different than. And what disgusts me about that is that it leaves no room for learning about other people's experiences. It leaves no room for expanding your understanding of the Bible, of the historical and biblical context of certain passages. It leaves zero room for cultural influence on the context of a scripture passage. Specifically, that last one is purposeful, because in conservative churches, it's all about the traditional, this is how it's been done for 400 years in straight white man controlled churches. And you forget, first of all, when you're in that situation, that Jesus was not an American white person at all, nor was he a person who chose certain people based on their background. That's simply not who Jesus was. That's not who Jesus is. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of using an outdated, close-minded, bigoted way of thinking to justify Christian behavior that is actually all but Christian behavior. It is the opposite of what Jesus has called us to be, and I want to see a resurgence of compassion and kindness and love and acceptance of people, regardless of who they are as people. And that means, more than likely, for a lot of these conservative Christians, rethinking their interpretation of certain scripture passages through the lens of, because I believe that Christ loves me and I am called to love people as Christ loves me, what does that mean in this situation? And let me tell you, it certainly does not mean being homophobic or transphobic or anything but sex positive. It doesn't mean any of those things. And those are specifically the issues that I know are being thought of when my conservative family members and friends share that meme. Those are specific issues they're thinking of when they say it, and they like to think that they have a moral high ground because of that. Well, guess what? None of us have moral high ground here, because we are all people who are broken and hateful by nature. And so to love people as Jesus does is what makes us different. So why aren't we doing that? We've got to be better about it.